Okay, so welcome back to Holistic Growth. Yesterday, I posed the two questions around can I do it and is it worth my while? And we ask ourselves these two questions constantly to inform our decisions, to make change, to set goals. And we really want to do is build our capacity of can I do it and getting uncomfortable. Can I run the marathon? Can I apply for that job? Could I move and take on this different thing? Could I volunteer? Stuff that wouldn't normally be in our can I do it bucket, but there's enough. Is it worth my while? Because we've got a great connection to our values, to our purpose, and what we want in our hearts as being meaningful to us. And we want yeses in that space. And if there's a no, we want to outweigh the no with the yes of, is it worth my while? Because when we reflect back on that, like, is it worth my while? What does that mean? Is being on this planet worth my while? Well, if it is, make your time on the planet meaningful. And only you'll know what meaningful is. And I said yesterday that I'd talk through some of the stuff how do I reference that for myself personally? And I look at things differently. I've got 5 children, right? 5 children on one salary. So I think I've got the conditions, or I've got the fallback of wanting to play it safe probably more than anyone else. I should be thinking, just get your 38 hours, your 40-hour week, get your set salary, have a nice little clear trajectory up to the top, and provide for your kids. And at the cost of your happiness, at the cost of your well-being, at the cost is worth it, because the safety and the security of your kids, of your lifestyle, is more important than that. Just play it safe. I reckon there's millions and millions, if not billions, of fathers, of mothers with that, and they wouldn't like to admit it, but that's the mentality. Safety. Trust me, safety, when you attach to safety, you create fear. Because it's fear of the unsafe. It's fear of the unknown. And we try to set these frameworks and lifestyles up that create consistency of safety, of wealth, of stability. And when we don't get those, we struggle and become overwhelmed. And there's a cost to that, especially if you can set that up. You can set that up absolutely and still be meaningful in what you do, still be inspired, engaged with what you do. You can definitely do it. It's possible, but it's not always the case. There's a lot of people who have set up great lives, who are in careers that are unfulfilling, that are just ticking a box, that are not where they want to be. They're not linked to a purpose. They don't fuel the spirit. And that cost is usually a cost on their mental health. It's a cost on their well-being. It's a cost on their relationships. And a lot of behaviours and actions suffer because of it. And I hear this all the time. It's like, yeah, but you know, I've got to provide for the kids. And my reframe on this is, how do you think the kids are seeing you now? When you talk about your job as if you don't like it, as if life is just about providing enough to get by, and it's all about providing for you to give you the newest clothes, the new device. All I'm going to do is show up that way, and this is what life is as an adult. And your happiness, your fulfillment, your energy comes secondary. And you've got 3 kids, for instance, in a house that's the energy of that house every night and every weekend, all the time. So they form a belief and an understanding of, this is what it takes to be successful or to get through life when I'm older. It's not about liking stuff. It's not about following your dreams. It's not about doing stuff that's purposeful and meaningful. It's just about doing enough to get by, to create enough safety for the next lot of children to come in and experience the same thing and to follow suit. And is that how you want to be remembered? Because that's what I think about all the time. I'm like, I got 5 kids. With my career, with my well-being, with my relationships to them and others, when I'm 90, sitting on my rocking chair on my porch, what would I like my kids to be saying to their kids or their grandkids about me, about what Dad was like? And I would love for them to say, Dad was awesome. He took risks. He followed his heart. He moved us from Victoria to Tasmania with no knowing of what would go on, with just trust, and that things would work out, because that was his passion and that was what he felt compelled to do. And yes, you've got to be responsible about that. And we took a calculated risk. But he was true to his heart. And he believed in what he believed in, and he followed that belief with actions and behaviours. That's what I sit with when I ask these questions. And maybe that's not what you want. That's how I want to be remembered, of someone who was deeply connected to themselves and followed that with actions and behaviours. And that's what I actually want my children to grow up like, to have that connection to spirit and soul, that connection to voice to them and to the values and their purpose. So that's what drives me. So I hope that helps. I hope that's not too deep for you, and I hope it doesn't put you off, and it might, because if you've formed another one and this is challenging that, often the response to challenge is to shut that down. And you might shut that down, and that's completely cool. That means just you're not ready, or you don't need that right now. I'm just putting information out there. I'm just projecting out there my belief stories and feelings, and I'm happy for anyone else to do that for theirs. And it's like a suit. Take which parts of it you need, use it, leave what you don't want. Take care. We'll talk soon.